Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
Here we go. It's time for Cowboys Storyline, Thursday, November 14th. I'm Nick Eatman, and let's talk Cowboys and Houston Texans, as we're just a few days away from the Cowboys having their first Monday night game of the season and needed that extra time to try to get ready for Houston. They come into town 6-4. Cowboys obviously 3-6, losing 4 straight games and all 4 games at AT&T Stadium. Got to get a win this week in Arlington. Got to make sure the Texans have still never won a game up here in Dallas. Not the one that counts. We're not talking about your preseason finale for the Governor's Cup. We're talking about real football games that count. The Texans haven't won yet, and I'm sure that this is their best chance to do it if they're going to come up here and win. We'll see if the Cowboys can keep that trend going and break a couple of other ones this season along the way. 888-855-2297. We can talk about injuries, talk about lineup changes, maybe quarterback position, of course. Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, Will Grier is back on the practice squad, and talk about all that good stuff and whatever else you want to talk about for the most part. Chuck in Bridge City, Texas is first. Chuckster.
Hey, Nick.
What's up?
Hey, so I heard you say we lost 4 in a row, but also Texans have lost 3 of the last 4.
Yeah.
I know in a different way. Their games have been more competitive. Still, they're vulnerable.
Oh yeah, they're going to play a close game. I mean, that's what they do. They've played 8 out of 10 are very, very close. They've been blown out once, and they blew out, I think, the Patriots. But I mean, most of these games are close. So we'll see if the Cowboys can at least keep it that way, and then you got to figure out a way to win in the fourth.
Well, we can't seem to put all 4 quarters together. We'll have a good quarter here, good quarter there, and then we'll of course, the third quarter we get blown out every game. But if we could just somehow find a way to be consistent every quarter, and my opinion, I feel like they need to just stick to the run game, have the mindset that Rico needs to get 20 touches. And I don't know if McCarthy's capable of calling a game like that, but that's just my opinion. What do I know? But
yeah,
that's what I like to look for this game, Nick. And And also, I want to throw this out. I got to see the Tony Romo spin out to J.J. Watt live in person, so
that was what a game that was of 2014? Yeah.
that was
Not only that play, but also Des Bryant caught a pass, and it might have been in overtime. Well, I don't know if that was overtime game or not, but it was in the fourth quarter. He had an unbelievable catch down the sideline. There's no way he should have caught that pass. But that was one that, Houston almost won that one.
yes.
They didn't. But, what a great play by Romo.
And the fans let me know it, too. They had a lot of talking more trash than Eagles fans did.
Well, they've never won anything, I mean, they've never won anything. So they probably have banners of the Governor's Cup in preseason, and it's just kind of the way it is. And, their first team left them, and they got another one, and, sorry. You can tell how I feel about that. All right, let's go. Thank you, Chuck, for the call. Third quarter. No doubt about it. The Cowboys, if they can somehow figure out a way to win that quarter, it might change some things around. I was looking at some stats there. I mean, they've outscored teams, or outgained them in the fourth quarter and outscored them. And first and second is, they're a little bit down, but the third quarter is, from the yard standpoint, it's almost doubled. Now, part of that is the fact that they keep getting the ball to start the game because they're choosing to get the ball to start the game. and it's not always working out, and it rarely has worked out. So that means they're not getting it to start the third quarter, and they're not stopping anyone. I mean, teams are taking the ball in the third quarter, scoring. I think Philadelphia was the first team this season, or first team since week 1, to not score a touchdown right off the bat in the third quarter. But still, they're not winning the third quarter. They're not coming out of the locker room. Now, locker room adjustments, this isn't high school, okay, where both bands are on the field and it's 30 minutes. It's not. It's 13 minutes. It's pretty quick. Every halftime show that there has ever happened in an NFL game has the punters and kickers coming out, kicking off the side, because that's how quickly it is to, get them to come out. So there's not a lot of adjustments to be made, but if you could make an adjustment on the sideline of a play, in the middle of the first quarter or second quarter or whatever, then you can do something at halftime, and the Cowboys are not doing that. All right, Robbie, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Hey, Nick, how are you today?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling, I hope, positive about this game. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to feel.
Robbie, when are you not positive? You're one of the
Man,
most
I'm
consistent.
a 53-year-old man with 2 beautiful kids that are 4 and 9. Life's great, man. I love the Cowboys. I've loved them since
my
forever.
kids are 4 and 9. That's awesome.
I know.
Well,
you have a 9-year-old girl, though.
Got a couple more, but yeah, that's
do you?
awesome. Well, Robbie,
a couple girls, right?
Yeah, teenagers, and then
sorry, back to football. Yeah. Ooh, that's scary.
But you always call in with a good perspective, and so I like that. That's good. It's hard to do, especially when you have 4 and 9. So I really give you a lot of credit for that. Robbie, what's up?
I appreciate it. Man, I hear people saying, yeah, let's lose a bunch of games. I hope we lose and get a better draft pick and better draft picks throughout the whole draft. But, man, I still want to see us fight, man. I still want to see us play. And, I mean, I played a little bit of college ball. I wasn't really good, but I played high school ball and was good. I want to see us keep fighting. I don't care if we get the 28th draft pick or the first or the 32nd. I mean, just play football.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'll argue with people all day long about that. And it doesn't mean you're not a true fan if you want them to have a better draft pick. It's not about that, but it's just I always look at the draft pick as the silver lining of it all. It's like I'm trying to win. Well, if you don't, maybe you get a better draft pick. But that's after the fact. That's not in the middle of the game or the first of the game, and you're like, no, don't want them to win. I don't want them to keep this coach. I don't want them to get a better. No, I can't do that. Like that doesn't work. The draft pick, the draft status, and all that stuff happens afterwards of like, all right, well, at least
for sure.
At least you get that, that kind of stuff. That's the way.
2 more simple things. One, I wanted to shout out to Derek Eagleton for putting all this together. I know you guys have worked hand in hand for so many years, and he has put together a great team, and it's really appreciated if you pass it on to him. Kyle Yeomans, you, Nick, the new Nick, everybody. I mean, the whole team is great. I love how he mixes things up. I love how he brought us back. Just wanted to say thanks to you guys, man, and keep us entertained. And even when it's off season, we're still getting news and nuggets and stuff, and it's just great. So thank you guys.
Well, thanks for saying that. I appreciate that, and he does a good job with that. I don't know if that was his only point or last point, but thank you, Robbie, for the call. It's Derek does a good job with that, and we always joke about it that he keeps adding these podcasts, and is about to kill Chris, but I think we're maxed out right now. I don't know if we have any more time slots, unless we just want to go 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or the night cast or whatever. But as it stands right now, we're pretty full. A lot of good mix of things as well. All right, 888-855-2297. I believe our lines are open right now, unless there's another one. But I don't think so.
I got Nigel in Arizona.
Nigel, okay. Nigel.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good.
Happy Thursday, man.
How are you doing?
Hey,
You okay?
I'm doing great, man.
Okay, good.
Well,
Good.
I came in with very low expectations, so I'm not tripping on what's happening. I thought we'd play a little better. But I have a few questions. Answer the ones you wish. I thought Awesome did a great job last week. So my question would be, keep him to the left, put Guyton over to the right, As we know, Steele, I mean, he's great at run block, but he's just having such a hard time in the pass rush. And then, let's see, with the draft coming up, that's kind of what we got to look forward to. Do you think we go defense or offense? I know the Boise State running back's a Texas native, and he's already said that would be his dream. So do you think we go with an offensive player, defensive end, and you think Mingo plays?
Yeah.
That's what I got for you, sir. I appreciate you, Nick.
Good stuff, Nigel. Appreciate that. Man, I hope so. I hope Mingo plays. I mean, it's about the, it's not about conditioning. It shouldn't be. I mean, he's been playing for Carolina, and so practicing all that stuff. So you be in football shape. You got to know the terminology, and know the plays, but you're adding a new quarterback in here, new mix. So I think that there's ways to get him activated and at least start implementing him into the offense. So yeah, this is why you did it. You made a move so you could get a jump start next year, that you could have a 4th round pick that you think has talent better than that is not a rookie. He's a 2-year guy. He's got some experience with your players. So that's the advantages, is to play him right now. Now, don't throw him out here when he's not ready, but at the same time, get him ready. And that's part of it. I mean, be ready. Now, as for the right tackle move and all that, I like that idea. I mean, why not? I mean, you want to get these young players and see if they can, develop as well. I don't think they're ready to give up on Terrence Steele. I mean, at all. They did sign him, and they think he's still relatively young player as well. I don't think he forgot how to play football or anything like that. I think he's had some issues there, but I don't think he can not turn it around. I think he'll be fine. And as for the draft stuff, I mean, there's not a position out there in the first round. Let's say you picked, I don't know, let's say it's just right down the middle at 15. I mean, I know that it'll probably be higher than that as the way it looks right now, but let's just say there wouldn't be a position that you wouldn't look at. I mean, if the guy was an all-world corner, could make that case. You could definitely make a case for a pass rusher or defensive tackle. Linebacker probably wouldn't be ranked that high, but if he was, you'd look at it and say, wow, he could definitely help. Safety, same thing, probably wouldn't be that high, but if he's that good to take him, then he's a game changer, then certainly a tackle, you would consider it. Guard, you have to consider it. Tight end, maybe. Again, you're talking about players that are like game changers. Receiver, yeah. Running back, same. Probably everything but quarterback. And some people might even argue that, but I think you wouldn't go that route. But all I'm saying is, and even if it's higher than that's fine. But my point is that you can take the best player available that can help you be ready to play right now. And he's going to be at a position that that you could use. Anthony in Miami, next.
Nate the Quick, what's up, my guy?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's the actual one day off a week I got today, so I had to call and talk to my boy. You miss me, baby? And my Barry Switzer boys, you miss me, baby? Sure. I had to give you something.
That's funny.
I love that clip. I love it. But not to double back on yesterday, but just hearing you now and hearing things while I was waiting, you make a lot of sense, man. And like I always say, I give credit to callers. Y'all make sense, especially dividend to next year. But that's next year. That's next year. It's things we can do now. I'm not a tanker. I don't want to tank. As I said. Put the best product out there. We heard. We got the quarterback going now. This May. But those guys showed me something. They showed me something on defense. That was a spark. Mm-hmm. Who thought those guys can do that? I did. Because when I called you last week, remember I told you I called, Chris knows I called the guys that hanging. I hadn't talked to them in a minute. And I said that. And I said, like I told you, if we contain quarterbacks and this and that, and we sack them, because we can do that. I don't care what we got. Jesse was like, Anthony, wait, what? What do we have? Well, I'll tell you what, Jesse and all the doubters, we got 7 7 sacks in 2 weeks. So don't tell me we can't do things.
Mm-hmm.
Your offense is struggling. So hopefully they work whatever they got to work out with Cooper Rush. If Cooper's come back, put the best product on the field. And in that, like I heard a lot of people say about the young players, you're going to play young players. If nobody's been listening to and watching the games, you've been playing young players. Now you make a switch of Jawani and a Bell for the safeties, for hooking them, but all the young players are playing. So put the best product on the field. Let's win some games, and then next year, sort out next year. And as we always do, we'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about signings. We do it all the time, Nick. You know that.
Yep.
So that's what I want. That's all I'm saying. And then we'll let that take care of itself next year. Let's put the best product out there and give me something. Offense, give me something, because I believe if that, just that, would have played, and we would have stuck to the running game last week. With that defense doing what they did in the first half, I think they would have gained more energy, because they'd have been like, man, we're doing something. We're contributing, and we're holding these guys. But, man, them guys were let down after we did five and outs or whatever and turnovers. They were let down. They were like, man, we gave all we had. That's it. So I think we put the best product out there, man, and we just do what we can, and then we worry about next year. That's just me, Nate.
All right.
This time I'll talk to you next week.
All right,
I'll
Anthony.
talk to you next week, buddy.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right.
Yeah, they're playing young players. They have to play young players because of the situation that they have with injuries and all that. There's not a lot of, there's a term that they use sometimes for veteran players called progress stoppers. He's out there, he's playing, but he's preventing this young guy from playing. He's stopping his progress, and I don't know if you have a lot of progress stoppers out there, other than, you could argue Zach Martin is for TJ Bass, but are you really going to do that? Do you want to do that? No thanks. So there's a line to draw there. And I know safety's the one that a lot of people say, Hooker and Donovan Wilson are stopping progress for maybe Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell. I could see that argument. I could see the Terrence Steele argument for Austin Richards or Guyton or whatever how you want to put those guys. But also I like Anthony's point there. You do want to put the best product on the field. These guys that are there that are playing, they deserve that. The fans in the stands that are paying tickets, not the ones. I'm not talking about just the people here calling the shows and saying, I don't really care, I want them to lose. Well, are you going to the game? Are you getting the tickets? Are you getting your parking and you're going and you're paying all the money that takes to go to a game? Are you doing that? Because if you are, and also bringing your kids and all that don't understand all this, they deserve the right to have the best product out there as well. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying it. Just remember the perspective here. You're not just sitting at your couch in Virginia or Minnesota or New York or whatever saying, I don't really care. Well, that's fine, but there's still 80 to 90,000 people, if not more, that deserve a little bit better product than that, and not really cared about whether they're going to pick 12th or 18th or 5th or whatever next year. Let's go to Randy in Texarkana.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. It's been a while. Just like my wife's aunt would always say, I just want to call, say hi. Hey, I also want to thank. No.
Okay.
I also want to thank, being the godfather of the Randys, I want to thank my team. I knew I wasn't going to be able to call in for a while, and so I sent up the Randy signal, kind of like the bat signal. You got your Randy from the West Coast, the South.
They're everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere.
And I even sprinkled in a little tricky one, RDJ. That just happens to be my initials of RDJ. So they all came together and held it down for me, and I appreciate them.
What if we get Randy White in here?
Hey, that's him. I'm actually named after him. My dad was a Cowboys fan. That's how I got my name, so that'd be cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I could handle that. So sitting by, I have not missed a show. I know I hadn't been on in a while. I've not missed a show. I've listened to all of them. Sitting back, I'm hoping that all the callers understand when I say this. I'm not trying to be a smart butt, but everybody needs to realize right now what show you're on. There are some shows that will talk trash about coaches and owners, but this ain't the one. And yesterday, I think when you explained yourself, Nick, about your feelings toward talking about owners, coaches, players on other teams, etc. You've made yourself clear, dude. I really think that from now on, if somebody calls in with that kind of a call, just answer what you can answer and go on. You are like, and I appreciate you explaining yourself. I really do. But when you sit back and listen, you've done it a lot. You've explained it a lot. So by now, knuckleheads should know.
Well, but Randy, let me throw this out there too. This is where it gets interesting for me. Is that yes, I can sit and say, I can only go so far into some of the conversations, but the show is created for the fans, the diehards like yourself, that are passionate about this team and have opinions, and they don't always have to be the same as mine, and they certainly shouldn't be. So. There's a line where, hey, you could go ahead, say what you need to say. Yeah, that's a little premature for me, but that's what you're thinking. That's what you guys are out there talking about. I get it. Go for it. Just know that there's only so much that I can add to that conversation, and then when it gets a little over the line, we're going to have to stop it. But for the most part, it's a show for you guys as well. So that's where I have to be real careful and to say, no, we're not talking about that. I get it.
Right.
I totally understand it.
And that's where the caller needs to come in and be smart enough to phrase what they're saying to you into their own opinion and not phrasing it in a way that they're asking you a question.
I'm going to hang up and listen. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right. And,
no, I get it.
And other than that, guys, I appreciate y'all and all the fans and that lovely lady that called in the other day. It sounds like she's very happy with life and said that she liked me. I thought that was pretty cool. And, as far as the Cowboys are concerned, hey, I think tomorrow they should take practice off and they all need to go have a couple beers and bowl together and just pull the Bad News Bears for the rest of the year and be like, man, we're going to go out there and just have a blast. Forget all this seriousness. Seriousness is getting them nowhere. Just go out there and have fun like you were when you were a kid. And you never know what that'll bring you sometimes. You know what I mean? And with that, I'll hang up.
All right.
Listen to you later.
All right, Randy. Hey,
all right, brother. Yep.
I was with you for about 95% of that call. I'm not so sure the Cowboys haven't had that approach earlier on. Like having fun, going out there. Like maybe they should practice a little bit more. I don't know. Again, this has been a tough season. There's no doubt about it. It's been tough. Whatever they are doing with the practice regime, schedule, and all that, switch it up a little bit. Just something here and there. And that's the thing. That's what made it so tough. Like with those Jason Garrett teams. Like there's a time where you want consistency all the time, but when it's not working, then it doesn't. Then the message is tired. You can't keep if you keep preaching consistency over and over and over, and they're not winning games. Then for what? What are we doing this for? You know what I mean? It's you've got to switch this up, and you do that in your life. You do that with your kids every now and again. We're gonna go here to eat, or we're gonna do this. We're not gonna do the same old thing all the time. That's what makes it fun, and I think the Cowboys need to kind of switch that up a little bit. Let me take a break real quick on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be back to answer a couple more calls and questions.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Gear up for Turkey Day the Cowboys way. Score all your essentials for the perfect Thanksgiving Day outfit at DallasCowboys.com. Pro shops near you. Log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience. All right. Back here on Cowboys Storyline. Let's go to Zach in Atlanta. He's been holding a little bit. Zach, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I had a thought this morning. Can you imagine if Dak was not signed before the season?
Oh, yeah.
And, injury, all that. It fleshes out the way it has. I mean, I don't know where we would be if we had not signed him. You know, what the conversation would have been about re-signing him at this point in the season. I don't know. Chaos that we don't need to explore. But it was a fun thought exercise this morning.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what that would have been like? I mean, yeah, you'd be talking about a completely different thing. Maybe they'd have a better record. Maybe he would have played better. Maybe he would have played worse. I don't know. I mean, he was kind of motivated by that too, and I don't think he played poorly or anything like that. But who knows how he would have played if he would have started the season that way? I don't know. You'll never will know. So doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, no telling. But, hey, there was a movie long ago called The Incredibles, the animated movie, and you had one of the kids who's, super fast, right? And the whole family's at a track meet watching Dash, and they're, cheering him on, and he's, turning on the jets and dusting everybody, and they're like, no, slow it down. And he's kind of, behind the pack, and then they cheer him back to the middle of the pack. I kind of feel like I'm, rooting for a team where I'm man, I want to see young players ball out. I want to see Overshown continue to get reps. Let's get Leofau in there. Your guy, Thanksgiving, Hunter Lipke himself. Let's keep exploring his potential. But it's also hey, if the season is, I don't know. We wait all off season. I follow the draft. I follow OTAs. Follow all of that. And never will quit on the team. I wait all year for the actual game.
Right. And
the product is disappointing this year. So I feel like as a fan, I'm not rooting for them to lose at all. But it's how do we thread the needle of let's get the talent evaluated and build for the years to come while also being competitive this year. I don't know, the conundrum of where we're at. Some days I'm nah, we got to win, but let's actually get out here. And then, they perform the way they have. And it's just well, I don't know, the push and pull of a season like this. So anyways, what young players, and we kind of have the same cast of characters we talk about. DeMarvion Overshown. I feel like Hunter Lipke has been talked about for his time here. But what are some young players that maybe aren't being talked about that you're hey, let's get some reps for this guy? We heard a lot about this kid, haven't really seen anything, hasn't gotten the opportunities. What are some guys that you think could use a few more reps in a season like this? So anyways, that's all I got, man. I'll hang up. Thanks to you and Beam. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for the call, Zach. Young players needing to play a little bit more. I mean, I'm looking at the list. I mean, but for who is that's the, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at players like Brevin Spanford. Okay, yeah. I mean, Schoonmaker. I mean, they can play more, but for Ferguson, not ready to do that yet. Ferguson's a pretty young guy himself. He needs to keep playing. Not looking to put Let's-Go out there for Terrence Steele. I mean, you can make the case for Awesome Richards, but I mean, even Hoffman. I mean, Hoffman's older than the starter and Beebe, so you want Beebe to keep playing. I mean, I just don't know if there are a lot of players like that we've said it before. Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell, yeah, they could play for safety. I mean, at safety. Tyrus Wheat, he's having to play because of necessity. He may or may not have been on the team had it not be for all these injuries there. So Damone Clark, he's older than Maris Leofau. He's not playing a whole lot right now. Buddy Johnson, he's a guy you could maybe see a little bit, some of him. Mukwamu is going to have to play some because I don't know if Kalen Carson doesn't seem ready. There's not Flanoy. You can make a case for him to get out there, but Mingo too. I mean, Mingo's got to play. So there are some cases where that's happening. Sometimes it's really just out of necessity more than anything else. All right, Sergeant Sue in Fort Worth is next. Sergeant Sue, what's up?
Eddie's, everybody. How you doing, Nick? Sorry about my voice, man. It's kind of gone after my vacation.
Oh, that's all right. Good, man. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on a number of things, but I'll do them as fast as possible. I try to speed talk. But one, I just kind of wanted to bring my perspective of how the show has been going the last couple days. I've had to catch up, so I listened to like 3 or 4 back-to-back. And just to let everybody else kind of know what the perspective for me kind of was, is it kind of felt like when the team is losing and their locker room starts to kind of point the fingers at each other, like the offense is blaming the defense and the wide receivers are blaming the quarterback. And it's like, I don't want us to be that because it's not healthy for a locker room. It's not healthy for us. You know what I mean? Like, let everybody fan the way they fan. Let everybody do their thing. There's no need to call each other out unless we're calling each other out for positivity, which I want to do right now, excuse me, with Anthony in Miami. I very much feel like I have a very similar outlook to him. We'll have the best guys out there. And in doing that, you're going to be able to continue to develop these guys. You know what I mean? Like, if we think that, for instance, I think I just heard you talking about it. If we think that Steele, isn't, like, playing up to par and he can do better, I mean, got to keep him out there. You know what I mean? Let's not just swap him out. And, the running backs need to continue to get their reps, and these young wide receivers need to continue to get their reps. And the people who are on Team Tank and the people who are on Team Try, excuse me, we might all get what we want anyways at the end of the day. We might be able to leave our best guys in there. And because our best guys, unfortunately, right now aren't doing that well, we may also lose a lot of games. I mean, this team isn't very, very talented. I was encouraged by what I saw on defense, and I'm super excited to continue to watch them. But, I mean, that's just kind of what it is. Like, we're going to do the best that we can. And if we end up losing a bunch of games and getting a good draft pick, I mean, at least we did the best, put our best foot forward, and the product that was on the field was the best that we got. And I'm okay if that happens, Excuse me. I hope that makes sense. Sorry about my voice, everybody.
All good.
Have a great day, man.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's another positive perspective, but everybody has their own way of viewing this, and what works for them doesn't necessarily work for others. But again, no finger pointing here on the frustration. I mean, I get it. I mean, I've been there. I'm a fan of teams as well. You get frustrated. You get frustrated based off of, a lot of it too is the fact that you kind of feel fooled because you get frustrated based when your expectations are here. And so your expectations are at a level based off of 3 12-5 seasons. And it's not like they haven't had some injuries in the last 3 years. They've had some things to deal with, but they've overcome it. They've played well, and they've gotten in a position where they've had a chance to compete. They just didn't win in the playoffs, but they had good football teams. That's what the expectation was. You look at the roster. Even though you lost some players, you still expect that these young guys, who's going to be the next guy to develop, who's going to be the next Ferguson, the next Deron Bland, the next 4th, 5th round pick that they drafted, that's going to take that leap. And so you expect it. And then when it doesn't happen this year, you feel, number one, you feel fooled a little bit by, like, man, I was so excited about this, and then it didn't work. And there's reasons that it didn't work, but still, I think we all kind of expected it to be. We all expected it to be better than this. Even if you had your doubts on your team on this season, you didn't necessarily think it was going to be sitting here at 3-6 where they are. All right, Joe in Kansas City.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. What's up, man?
First time caller, buddy.
There we go. Way to lay out.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. I like it. What's up, bud?
My first question to you is, how do you like working with the French Fry King, Nate Newton?
The French Fry King?
Yeah, that's what Madden called him one day on TV. They called him the French Fry King. He was always talking about food, and then he would talk about that, and he called Nate Newton the French Fry King. So in our house, he's known as the French Fry King.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've worked with him sometimes, not all the time, but yeah, I'm on some shows with him every now and again. I might have to throw that his way.
Okay.
All right.
I listen to him, and you're a couple of my favorites. But my question for you is, what do you think about Deuce Vaughn? Really looks good. He reminds me of Barry Sanders when he runs, but he's just not been out there. He's quick and darts, but I mean, and our defense is looking great. I mean, probably not great, but like overshown and having Michael Parsons back. Even though it's a bad season, which it is, I see hope in the defense this year.
All right. Yeah. And the last couple of weeks that they've shown that. I'm not with you on the Barry Sanders Deuce Vaughn comparison. Barry Sanders was good from the minute he stepped on the field, and Deuce is still working his way into that. I see the shorter guy, got to have some power. He's got to play with power though too, speed and acceleration and all that. Got to break some tackles. He hasn't really shown the ability to break tackles for guys that are in the NFL. He's done it in preseason games in the fourth quarter against guys that maybe on a practice squad, maybe out of the league. But when he had an opportunity to play in games, he's yet to show that on a consistent level. But he might be a young guy, from that last caller that called in. He might be a young guy that you'd like to at least just see. And that's probably what's going to happen here as the season goes on here, is you're going to get into those. Let's just find out one way or another what Trey Lance can do, what Deuce Vaughn can do, Mingo, a lot of these guys, Flanoy, Kalen Carson. Just keep putting them out there. Just get some confidence. Just keep playing. That in training camp he did some things. He was playing really well, and then now they're picking on him a little bit or a lot. He's going to have to kind of play through that. And so we'll see where his confidence level is. But anyways, thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate that. Joe in Kansas City, first-time caller. Let's go Chris in San Angelo, Texas.
Mr. Nick, how are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I guess I was just going to focus on, how the national media kind of treats the Cowboys, how they're kind of a little unfair, like, for instance, picking out their new coach for them, saying Dak is a quitter and all that manure. And yet in San Francisco, there was a fist fight on the sideline and a chokehold, and I wouldn't have even known that had I not seen it live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all that being said, I was going to ask you, in your history with the Cowboys, who do you think is the one player who has got probably the most unfair bad rap that you can remember?
Tony Romo.
Oh, that was quick.
Tony Romo.
Okay.
I can't think of anyone that comes close to that. That was kind of treated unfair, in my opinion. I think Tony Romo. I call him all the time. I say it before. I haven't said it in a while. I nicknamed Tony Romo the diaper. I called him the diaper because he covered up a lot of crap. And when you took the diaper off, doesn't smell good, doesn't look good. And we saw that in 2015. I think Romo, for his story, the success of a Eastern Illinois undrafted guy that comes in and becomes the face of the franchise and does it, and the player he was, I never understood he got a bad rap, but he had some moments too. Some of it was his own undoing, and some of it was the fumbles and the gaffes and maybe the interceptions and some of the comments. But for the most part, I he's the first guy that comes to mind. I don't know. What about you? Is there somebody that you think of that maybe treated unfairly or?
Man, unfortunately, you just took the one I was going to say, and I'd have to rack my brain because I don't, I'm not there. I don't know, hey, which one of these guys is really a good guy and a good person to be around in the locker room, but they just get kind of pooped on in the in the media. So.
Well, it happens too when they get a contract. As soon as you get a contract, you get kind of treated differently. Terrence Newman is another one. I think Terrence Newman was an outstanding football player, and I think once he got signed his deal, he got I think he got kind of a bad rap as well. That's another one because it's always going to be the quarterback. But just from other players that way. I'll tell you another one.
Yes, sir.
Underrated player that always kind of got criticized because he had a penalty here and there. But Flozell Adams was an unbelievable player and a great story because everybody wanted him out in 2002. Out. This guy's terrible. He's not very good. And I'll never forget Bill Parcells showing up very first press conference. And he said, well, our first priority is going to sign this Flozell Adams. We got to get him signed.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, really? He was like, oh, yeah. You kidding me? Player, look at him.
Yeah.
And then he makes 5 straight Pro Bowls. Like
there you go.
I mean, sometimes guys need a little bit of encouragement and all that, but he was another one that way. But Romo and I think honestly, when it's all said and done, I think if you ask me if we're doing this show in 10 years and you ask me this, Dak, you could throw Dak's name on there as well.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right, Chris, appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
You too. All right. We'll go to break here on Cowboys Storyline, and we'll come back, maybe get another phone call before we wrap it up.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Go, Nick.
Tomorrow night, November 15th, Friday at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson taking on Jake Paul. Should be a lot of fun. You can also watch it on Netflix, but if you get a chance to go, limited tickets still available. SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium. I said this yesterday about Mike Tyson and just growing up when we did. I mean, he was just must watch. You had to watch him. But I'll tell you a story. Brad Sham tells this story from the mid-'80s, like 85, and he said that he was doing an interview with Tom Landry. And I think they were in a limo going somewhere, going to some event. And Tom Landry was talking about wanting to get back to the hotel. It was a road game because he wanted to check this young fighter named Mike Tyson. Tom Landry, it was all about the boxing. And he was like, there's this young fighter. He's going to be a star. His name's Mike Tyson. And he was talking about him and all that kind of stuff. So imagine that, Can you imagine if that story today, if Mike McCarthy was talking about, I really want to focus on this young fighter. I don't even know. I can't even think of a young fighter like that, but he wants, he'd be crucified. But Tom Landry, he wants to check out old Mike Tyson. So anyways, if you want to, this might be the last time to do that, especially in this area, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul tomorrow night. All right, let's go to Jacob in San Jose, California. Jacob.
Yo, how's it going, Nick?
How you doing? That's what I do every night. I just yell, Jacob. That's my son's name. But cool. All right. First time caller, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's my birthday.
And it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Chris, you got something for that. All right.
Pretty bummed out about the season, obviously, but I just wanted to get your take on, obviously, my opinion, Dak is QB number 1 going forward and should be. I just wanted to get your take on Dak moving forward.
It's not really my take. It's the take that Jerry Jones gave him with the $60 million contract. Like he's going to be quarterback 1. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When they signed that deal, he's the guy. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but it doesn't matter what anyone thinks at this point. I mean, that's what they're doing, and they got to get him healthy, get him ready to go, and get him back for next season because he's under contract for the next 4 years.
Yeah. One more question: are you going to be at the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight this weekend?
I will not be there. I was interested, but we've got a playoff game here at the Star Friday night. My daughter will be dancing at halftime of the game and get a chance to. It could be the last game of her high school time on the drill team, so won't be there. I'll be excited to be where I am, but I'm interested. I'm definitely interested to see. I don't know. I don't want Tyson to get knocked out. He might though. He might. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. Hey, I appreciate you for everything you do, and I'm always listening every day. And yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jacob. And also I understand, too, we do this show at 10 a.m. Central Time. For all you guys that call in California, we know it's early over there. Now everybody has different jobs. Some people are getting up now, going to work. Some people are getting off work at this time. Everybody has a different schedule, and appreciate definitely our international callers, but still the ones that call from California and the different coasts, even East Coast as well. Appreciate that because you guys are at work or work from home, whatever it is, you find a way to fit us into your schedule. We couldn't be more appreciative of that. That's what keeps this thing going. And as I've said it once, I'll say it twice a show. This show was designed for you guys and for your opinions, and they all count, and they're undefeated. I say this: your opinion is undefeated. It's like the 72 Dolphins, and you're always right in your opinion. Now, don't always agree. Not everybody agrees with it, but we do. This is a place where we we could house those opinions and talk about them and kind of compare. That's what I think's cool. I know you guys do the StoryLine spaces in the community on Twitter. You talk at night. I think y'all even had one last night where that's a chance for you guys to really talk about a lot of things and kind of compare. It's always kind of good to see, because people say it all the time. Am I the only one that feels like this or that? And this is a place to figure that out. Like, no, you're not. Even if you're sitting there and you've never called the show, you're not going to call, you're not going to do that. Still, I bet you there's times where you're like, that's what I think. I've been saying that too. They should let Hunter Lipke play more, or they should go to Awesome Richards or whatever. And so that's what's cool. You don't even have to call to feel like you're a part of it. And that's what's kind of cool. It's connecting everybody coast to coast and beyond that as well. All right, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the more Cowboys Texans. Will be our final show of the week before that game. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you tomorrow. Cowboy Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!